Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to have you.
Too.
Can we let's first with your outfit. Start with your outfit. So what are you wearing? And what is your style? How would you describe your style?
I feel like my style changed a lot. It became very practical. I feel like last week just running around. I wear like the super cute Nike jacket I got. And then some like basic jeans. Some old boots I got vintage. And a classic little corset from Zara, actually.
It's cute.
And like my favorite necklace. And some jewelry that actually friends for me did. And it has some little words.
And it's kind of sexy combined with more practical. Is that your usual style, or how would you describe your usual style?
I would say yes. I mean, I really like to have a feminine style. I used to wear only heels, and then I moved to Berlin, and everybody's like, Cynthia, you cannot wear heels here. And I'm still I have always pretty much like a heeled bootie or like some sneakers. But yeah.
I would say you're pretty feminine. Yeah.
I just love it.
It looks good. Yeah. It looks great on you. Yeah. And nail-wise, what do you usually go for?
I usually go for a pretty long nail. Just as I said, it's the first time I have short nails in, I would say, 4 years. So usually it's like a basic, no color, super simple.
And what's your shape, your go-to shape?
I go for a long, almond shape.
Almond.
Yeah.
Boom. So, I mean, it's really funny because we only met a couple of weeks ago. But I felt like we got on so well straight away. Everyone left. It was a brand event. Everyone left and we were still talking till, I don't know.
We were like kind of shouting the place down.
There was so much to talk about and I felt like we only discussed the tip of the iceberg. There was so much more I wanted to talk to you about. I briefly mentioned to you the press-ons that I'm releasing.
I'm so excited.
So today I can show you the designs and the products.
Honestly, I'm already like...
so there you go. So this has been a year of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. So we'll have a collaboration with Bad Moms J, which are these designs, and then we have the Islam designs that are over here.
Oh my god, I love them.
And truly something for everyone, I would say.
I agree.
So a bit more neutral, toned down, some more like festive with the season, I would say, and these are even more outspoken. So yeah, let's kind of pick a design for you or a set for you.
Yes.
And then whilst I'll apply them, whilst I press them on,
yes,
we can talk about what you've been up to and all the exciting projects you're working on.
Yes, love it. By the way, all of them are gorgeous. So I
like
need
them,
to choose or...
Yes.
I think I'm already...
We can also, so for example, this one is mix and match, but you can also go for one color, for example.
Love it. No, I think honestly this one.
Cute. Yeah.
I think it's very cute.
Yeah.
And it's a super nice. But I remember the first time you talked about it, I was already so hooked. And when you said it's for the ones that need to have some, that don't want to sit down for so much time.
That is
like,
me.
Okay, this is when I'm sold.
Honestly, there are different, I would say, target groups of reasons why people would get press-ons.
Yeah.
I think for some, it's also like a new set of nails at a salon can be pricey. This is a good, cheaper alternative. But for me, honestly, it's the time. Ever since I started applying the samples, I haven't gone back to my own salon, It's like, it saves so much time.
Agree. And if you break a nail as well, So
they come in 30. So every package has 30 nails for different sizes. So we try to be as inclusive with everyone's size as well.
Yeah.
But also if one comes off, you have a backup. Or if you lose one. Yeah. So what I do, I just walk around with glue in my bag all the time. Just in case anything lifts or comes off. Because that obviously can always happen.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this glue is it's a brush on. So that was also really important for me.
So it's not like drops.
I hate those squeezy.
I hate it.
And I always end up with glue everywhere and it's just messy. So perfect.
Perfect.
So let's start and prep your nails, which is an important step. And while I do that, let's talk about one of the many projects you're working on, because what would you say is your main project?
So I think the main is still Clicqui. It's like a female community in Berlin. In Berlin, Paris, Copenhagen, and Munich, actually, by now. It's pretty much just because I moved to Berlin and I was like, okay, I don't have a group of girlfriends and I miss them so deeply. And so I just started hosting these cute little dinner parties for women. And we grew a lot. And now this is pretty much what we do. It's pretty much just a space for women to connect, make new friends, and find friendship in a city like Berlin that sometimes can be quite lonely, I would say.
Yeah.
So this is the main thing. So we host quite a lot of dinners. We do some art events, like we go, gallery walks a lot. We do some workouts together.
How often would you say there's an event?
I mean, like if it's like super high season, I would say pretty much every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like...
Wow, I didn't realize that. I thought it was some weekly or bi-weekly.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
crazy.
In like, but I would say now we would do like 10, 15 a month.
Wow.
In Berlin, yeah.
And is it, how does it work? Is it like an event comes up and people just sign up?
Yes,
or?
Yeah. So we have like these dinners where you pretty much, I can only explain it to like women, it's like these typical girls' night out, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you will go out, just have a lovely dinner, go to nice restaurants, have some drinks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never that we choose the people. And I feel that was so important for me because I feel sometimes Berlin can be a little bit, you stay always in your bubble with the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it so important that you see different routes of life, these other women, what they do for a job, but also like just where they come from. And so it's pretty much first come, first serve. You sign up and then you join us.
Cool. And is it a website at the moment or an app? Okay.
Yeah. So we have it as a website.
Cool.
Usually like in the past when we started, we were so small.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that just our guests would be like, I put on just like the Instagram notification just to know when a dinner comes up because they were always booked out. So yeah, usually it happens through Instagram, but then through our website.
And is it open to anyone? Can anyone sign up?
Yes, women. Everybody that feels,
Yeah.
like a woman can join.
Cool. Because I think a lot in Berlin can feel, or a lot of these events can feel kind of intimidating for a lot of people.
So much.
Even at the shop, Isla, I sometimes hear that from people that they're like, oh, it's so intimidating to come to one of your events, even though we think it's super welcoming and open.
Yeah, I know.
So I think this is a great...
And it's so important because when I look back, I don't know, I feel I just became so much more comfortable with myself because I saw all these different women just living their life and just doing their way. And I feel sometimes when you obviously are in a circle around people and they have maybe a similar path, you tend to kind of think, what are they doing? Are they better than me? You maybe start comparing yourself. And this was for me the number one realization that like everybody has their own path. And it gave me a lot of confidence with myself, I would say.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
So cool. And do you take part in all the events yourself?
I can't anymore.
No, I was thinking, are you literally out there every day?
I mean, like at the beginning it was me, myself, and I, but now we are around 20 hosts in Berlin.
Oh, amazing!
And all these women came to the dinner party, so they came, and then it was like more like I looked at them, it's like, oh my god, you are just an amazing host. You listen, you are attentive, you are warm and welcoming, and then I just asked them, like, do you want to become a host? And sometimes they said no. I'm like, okay, I'm a bit offended. But okay. But most of them are, and all of them have been with us since the start. So I would say
amazing.
Yeah, for now almost 2 years. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
But then you also have other projects.
Yes.
Are they linked? Are they how should I see it?
I mean, I feel like one is linked. So we do Spice, which is pretty much goes in the same direction, just that we do workouts together because I feel we started a run club pretty much because I was intimidated of run clubs. And I was like, oh my God, I need to have a run club where it's just about, socializing rather than hitting a pace. So we started with a run club that worked so well. And I feel so many women just connected through that and found like just good friends. And so we're doing this pretty much the same that goes into just like working out together, finding the women and just having a good time. So that's called Spice. And then next to that, I feel like honestly, all the things I do is just because I miss them and I want them for myself.
It's so funny because funny enough, I didn't pick it like that, but all the women today are entrepreneurs in a way or have their own projects, entrepreneurs. And this is what they all said. I created something that I was missing.
Exactly.
Same for me. I missed something. So I started something myself. I think that's the best way to.
And it's like, therefore, I feel it really just comes from. I honestly, when I started clicqui as well, I never ever thought it would be like it is today, That it is something that I do like mainly. When I started, I thought I'm gonna get myself 5, 6, 10 new friends and that's it, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And then we never stopped. And so now it's the same. So I used to work out a lot. I used to do lots of Pilates. And then I started doing weight training, going to the gym. But I felt I felt intimidated. It is so intimidating.
Yeah.
And even though I worked with a trainer, I just never really felt so comfortable in the gym. And I was always somebody that loved to do group fitness. And so we just opened up a boutique fitness studio in Berlin. Like it's in Mitte, Auguststraße. And it's
in the street of Isla.
I know.
We're
neighbors. So it's just about, I would say it's like just a weight training, strength training class, but you don't do it alone. You have trainers that, come from a Pilates background, come from a personal trainer background. And we just do strength training together. So cool. And so far it has been like the feedback is exact because I feel so many women are getting so strong. And I just want that we do more weight training and we do more strength training and we are not intimidated and we can do it as a group. And so, but this is also for everybody that wants to join. It's not a female only.
Amazing. And so are clicqui and the workouts connected, just to make it clear?
Yes. So like core is like a standalone. So everybody's welcome. We're looking also for a new space. So we'll need to see how that goes. Because it really was just to test out. Now the feedback is so good and we're like, oh my God. And everybody's like, can you not leave again?
Yeah.
Yes, sure. But clicqui is different from core.
Cool. And so wait, how many years ago did you start clicqui?
1.5.
Oh, good. I thought it was way older somehow. Oh, wow.
No.
Oh, wow.
But I feel it was just the timing was very special because it was after the pandemic.
Yeah, we were lonely.
We were lonely. And I feel still people are. I mean, I think the number one realization I had is that I saw, and I'm still like always when I'm there, at the beginning, I would always call my mom. I'm like, Mom, this was so wholesome. I just love it. But I feel there's so much shame to, like
being lonely.
And people always be like, you are the problem. But then I'm honestly, it's not you that is the problem. It's just the society and it's the circumstance. And it was COVID. There are now so many places where you actually could connect, So I think that's why at the beginning it was just so needed.
Yeah.
And I feel there are so little safe spaces for women as well.
Absolutely. So wait, how did the idea come? Did you see it abroad somewhere? Did you like borrow the idea from something existing? Like how did you come up with this?
I feel like, there have always been like supper clubs, I think supper clubs have always been a thing, but for me, it always like you would need to cook. I'm a horrible cook, by the way, and I just wanted to something way more easier, So just to go out, meet friends, and I was really thinking, okay, what am I missing the most?
So wait, clicqui started as like dinner parties mainly?
Yes.
Okay.
It really started just as dinner parties and brunches and just because I felt in Berlin, there's a lot where you can connect, but it was always about a heavy topic, at least from my experience, It was, we would talk about some problems or it was circles, but there was nothing that I felt was just easy, just join in, but still small enough so we could really connect and talk to each other. And so I just felt this was the number one thing I was missing. I was just missing my group of friends. And I remember I would go to these restaurants with like the one or two friends I would have. And I would just look at all these people and I would be kind of jealous that I didn't have it in the city. And sometimes, and I think that's the beauty, is like sometimes you make a new best friend, but sometimes you just have an amazing night out, and you don't feel alone and you feel welcomed and you feel like you have more than those 2-3 friends in the city. And I think that was what was missing for me.
Yeah. So you had this idea and then what? You just started it or what was the process for you?
It was very random. So when I
how it usually goes.
Exactly. So when I started, I just did like a Google sheet. I would send it via WhatsApp to all my friends that I liked or people I liked. And it's like, okay, if I like you, you probably have 1 or 2 amazing friends. So you know what? I'm going to host this dinner. You come and you bring up +1. And so that's kind of how we started. And then beginning of 2022, I was like, okay, let's just do it a bit more, get out of our circle and even invite more people in. And I remember at the beginning, we were so small that people really thought it's a scam. And they would call the restaurant and be like, so I'm joining this dinner.
Oh.
Is there really like a reservation under the name? Because they were scared that it's not.
Oh, wow.
And that it is a scam and somebody just like gonna bring them home.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
What we women have to deal with.
I know.
It's like we can't even trust like an innocent.
Exactly. But then, it took off. I would start with one dinner and they were booked out in.
But I guess when you did the first dinner, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, it probably wasn't a whole business idea yet.
It was never a business idea.
So how did it become? Because now, would you say it's a business now?
I mean, I think it is. But still, it's more like a really big passion of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But
is there a business model? Could you eventually live of it?
I think, but I would probably need to do so many dinners that I'm like, okay, I still need to figure that out, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so how it still then became something was that I hosted these dinners, and on one night, actually, a girl that came to the dinner, she was like, Cynthia, how do you do it? I was like, yeah, it's just my private, I just love it so much, I do it. And she's like, you honestly need to pay yourself at least a little bit. I was like, yeah, but I don't know, I don't know if the people would still show up, because obviously it was always for free.
Yeah.
Would they still come? And she was like, just at least do a fee, so that people, because we, as you know, also Berlin is kind of flaky. Mm-hmm. People would cancel,
that would help people from
exactly, just also
twice.
From canceling,
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, just start with a little fee, so that just secures the spot of the people that want to join. And I remember that when we did it, so I was like, okay, let's try it. And when we did it, usually, the dinners were booked out in, I would say, 5 minutes, no matter how much we would post. And then this day, the first time we did a fee, it took 4-5 hours. I was like, okay, that's never gonna work.
No.
That's never gonna work, and the women will not show up. But I think in the end, and that's something that I'm so thankful for everybody that comes as a guest. They are just thankful that we do it. And I mean, we put, honestly, me and the host and everybody, we put so much love and work. I was just
gonna say, don't you think it's funny? And not to make it about men and women, but I don't think men would have struggled with putting a price on it. And we're always like, can we maybe get some money for all the time and effort? It's like, I love that we are like this on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, we can't be doing all that work for free,
No, and I remember that also one once taught me, like, if you don't put a price to it, you will never be able to live from it. And if you cannot live from it, you need to do it next to your job. And if you do it constantly next to your job, there will be a day.
It's not sustainable.
And there will be a day you're gonna burn out. And what's then? Like, you will not be able to do it at all.
Yeah.
So, but I feel, it was a struggle. It still is, because I wanted to have it accessible for everyone, because I feel everybody deserves a group of amazing friends.
Yeah.
And so we're trying, to do some events that are a bit more accessible, and then some where we're just like, okay, we'll go to a super cute and upscale restaurant, so that it's pretty much for everyone.
Yeah.
Because again, we don't choose the people. So it's really always first come, first serve.
Has it ever been awkward? Has there ever been a group that didn't go well together?
I mean, I think it hasn't. Luckily, it has never been awkward. Okay. Obviously, there's some...
a match and some are not,
sometimes you just be like, yeah, that's a great... I remember there are nights, they're so amazing that we would go for dinner and then we go for a bar. And then we just, we close down the restaurant at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, oh God, we all need to work tomorrow. How do we do it? And obviously, there are nights that are a bit shorter and everybody goes home.
Yeah.
But I feel also we did a lot of dinners, and so I have also such a big range, to compare it to. But there was never one where I would say it was really, really awkward. Thank God.
Okay. But I feel like you're also good. You're a great host, so
I try.
No, you are. You will make. Like, I haven't been to any of your events. I've been to the opening of.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing. But yeah, I could tell. Even at the dinner, you're like super easy with all different types of people, and
thank you.
No, it's a really good
strength.
I
think I just want that everybody feels welcomed. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes I feel in Berlin can be really hard, sometimes you just don't necessarily feel welcomed, or probably it's in every big city that you have these feelings.
I feel like specifically Berlin
it can be tough.
Yeah, it can be very lonely.
And so yeah, and therefore, like as I said, we don't choose. It's like you, in the end, you decide if it is for you. You know.
Yeah.
You go there, you meet the women or the people that are there, and yeah.
And have you ever thought, fuck it, I'm gonna give up. This is not it. This is not worth it. It's a headache.
Actually, I think this week.
And what do you do then in those situations? Like, how do you get yourself out of that?
I mean, I think it's sometimes feel everybody feels the same that does their own, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a good friend. She also just started, she's like a human rights lawyer.
Oh, wow.
And she started her own company and, and we were like just texting back and forth and having like mental breakdown because we're like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
I think it's more knowing that probably there will always be ups and downs. And it's just for me, the realization that I've been doing clicqui now, like in this setup and also core for, I would say 6-7 months, that I'm really just focusing on those projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see myself going back to corporate. Mm-hmm. So I think...
So that's your background? We didn't really talk about that,
Yeah, true. I used to work in luxury for a very long time.
Like marketing, communications?
Yes, I did marketing communications for LVMH for 6 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe...
How did you get into that?
I was right out of school, honestly.
Yeah,
I used to work for them next to my studies, and I did like some PA work.
Amazing.
And then I finished my studies and they're like, hey, there's this open position. Do you want to join? And I was like...
Was that in Paris?
No, it was in Munich at that time.
Okay.
But it was like I was traveling quite a lot for the job.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. I don't want to miss any second of it. It was, I can
imagine you must have learned so much.
You learn. And I think that's also that maybe why I just love hosting so much. And I would just love experience. I feel like luxury brands, that's the number one thing they do, right? They do amazing experiences. Yeah. And so learned a lot. And then I went to tech and I was like, oh no, I cannot do tech.
It's like Rose.
I don't know. Like so sometimes I wish I could be like them when I'm again, just that's the tip. Sometimes I'm just channeling my inner, bro. Like, suck it up, Cynthia. You can do it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's, I feel, but we all struggle with it. I don't know. Yeah. How do you do it?
What parts? How do I suck myself out of dips?
Yes.
For me, I always just come up with new projects within, the umbrella of Isla. I just have a very short attention span.
Yeah.
So as soon as I feel like I'm getting bored, I just need
something new,
a new project, a new, like expansion of some sort. Or the last year I've been really busy with developing the products, and that's all been such a learning curve. And I had never brought products to life at this scale. So I've learned so much this year. And I just keep myself busy. And also I'm the most productive when I have like basically too much going on. Yeah. I love being too busy because then at least it gets done. Yeah. I think it's my ADHD or I don't know, but I procrastinate a lot. So I need to be busy all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
So have a look.
I loved it.
Yeah, you like it? How did it feel?
It feels
really like
good.
A salon, right?
Yeah, it feels that it won't break.
In case it does, you have the glue.
Okay. And I just brush it on.
Yeah.
I love them.
Also a little file in the packaging, so you can even, if there's a little glue left, you can file it a bit. And then
super cool.
Yeah, they suit you.
I love them.
Nice shape. Is this the length you usually would go for?
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't go longer.
Cool.
I wouldn't also go shorter. Like, honestly, when I came with the shortness, I'm like, oh, this is not me.
This is cute.
They're so cute.
I love it.
And they match like my jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
You can be so proud, honestly.
Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you.
It was so... Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It was so good to have you.
Good to have... Thanks for having me.
I come to the workout very soon.
Yes, please.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
They look gorgeous.